everyone. Good afternoon, wherever you are. Hope you're well. Welcome to today's class. Starting a little series of easygoing, nice opening yoga that you can do any time of the day. Quite nice to start the day. You can also wind down, especially if you spend a lot of time sitting at a desk. Do a lot of nice opening chest, kind of airy movements. And yeah, I hope you enjoy it. You can begin in a comfortable seat, whether it's cross-legged or if you want to take kneeling position, that's also fine. You can just start to breathe a little bit slower, more mindfully. If you feel comfortable to close down your eyes, you can also do that. Just kind of noticing how your breath is doing. If it's quite fast or slow, you might notice you have quite a busy mind as well. That's absolutely fine. You're just kind of becoming more into this observer kind of standpoint and just taking note of how you're feeling, how your body's feeling. You can take a few deeper breaths, just breathing in through the nose and then just holding for a second at the top and exhaling out the mouth. And just twice more like this. Inhale through the nose and exhale out the mouth. And then you can just drop your chin to your chest. We're just going to take some nice slow rolls of the neck, nice big circles. And if you notice there's a particular point which is a bit sticky and you want to kind of hang out there, give that a bit of attention, please do. And I would echo that for the whole practice. I encourage you to take quite an intuitive approach and really listen to your body. If you want to adapt the postures to make it work for you, or you want to add something in, if you want to skip something, definitely listen to your body and make it work for you. It's your practice. And you can just change the direction of the circles if you haven't already. Really nice. And then once you come back to center, we're just going to lift both the arms all the way up overhead and just take it interlace. Then exhale, press it up and back. Then take an inhale, catch the interlace at the back. And then open your chest, lift your chin. Inhale. And then you can exhale, catch at the front and press away, almost like a cat-cow kind of motion, just using the hands to really push the back out. And then inhale, bring both the arms all the way up again. And then we're just going to take some side laterals. So you can take the right hand down, left hand will come over. And then inhale, left hand comes down, right hand's coming over, up past your ear. And if you have it available, you can let the forearm come down to the mat. Just taking a couple like this at your own pace, just inhaling as you come up and then exhaling as you go into the stretch. Really nice. And then next time you come back to center, just bring both the arms up again and then just pop the fingertips onto your shoulders. We're just going to take some nice big circles with the elbows. So as you inhale, bring the elbows together in front of you, up and around, and then let the shoulders draw down and back. Inhale, nice big circles. Exhale, drop them back. This is a really nice one if you work at a desk or we just spend a lot of time on our phones or looking down, and the shoulders and neck get a lot of strain. And then you can obviously just change the direction of the circles again as well. Really nice. And then we're going to inhale those arms back up again and just bring them out in front of you, just kind of pouring out the ground a bit like a cat, just kind of walking the hands forwards. And you can walk them over to the left side and see if you can kind of sit back a little bit in that right hip. Now that the hands are over to the left, you can kind of sit that right hip back a little bit and get this really nice stretch down the right side body. And then just coming back through the center over towards the right now. Take an inhale there and exhale, really sitting that left hip back. Really lovely stretch down the left side. And then once you're done there, you can just pull yourself back to center and just come to all fours position. You just want to have the wrists under the shoulders and the knees under the hips, just a nice equal kind of posture. And then we're just going to move through some gentle cat and cow to begin with. So you can just inhale, drop your belly, lift your chin, open your chest, and then exhale round the spine, tuck the chin and really press the back up and away, and then inhale, dropping that belly, lift your chin. And you can also start to be a bit playful and kind of intuitive here. Like if you feel comfortable to close your eyes, you can kind of let the body guide the movement. Maybe you're coming back towards kind of a child's pose, or you're taking a bit more of a spirally motion. So whatever feels good for you in this moment. And you can even come towards like an upward facing dog if that feels good. Just kind of letting the body lead the way. As long as it feels nice for your body, we're just starting to wake up through the spine and through the back body. Really nice. And then just come back into center, and then if you take your right hand over towards the top left of the mat, then we're just going to mirror this with the leg. So the right leg will come up off to the bottom left and the right hand to the top left. And if you just place your left hand kind of towards the middle just to support you, take an inhale there. And then see if you can exhale, lowering the forearm towards the floor, pushing back with that right heel. So again, getting a really nice stretch down the right side. You use this left hand to support you. Take an inhale there and then exhale. See if you can really push that heel away, press the hand forward. And then inhale, just coming back into center. And we'll just take that over to the right now. So the left hand comes to the top right, left foot to the bottom right. So you're kind of getting this banana sort of shape. And then bring that right hand to support you, and then bring in the left hand, the left forearm to the mat, just towards the mat. It doesn't have to reach there. That left heel's really pushing away. Take a full round of breath there. Exhale, and then inhale, bring yourself back to center. Really nice. Just coming back to that nice equal all fours position again. Then we're just going to take some spinal movements here, really simple. Just keep your hands as they are, and then if you lift up your left leg and lift your chin, and then bring your knee towards your nose and crunch underneath. Inhale, lift. Exhale, crunch. One more time. Inhale, lift. Exhale, crunch. Lovely. Then just keep the hands as they are and switch the leg. So now it's the right leg. If you lift the right leg as you inhale, lift the chin. Exhale, crunch. Inhale, lift. Exhale, crunch. One more time. Really nice. Just waking up that spine. And then if you just take your knees nice and wide, and you can sit back into a child's pose. Just noticing the different sensations in the body, how you feel now, even just after a tiny bit of movement, tiny bit of more conscious breathing. You can really start to tune into your senses. Just noticing even the temperature in the room, the sound of my voice, even kind of the texture of the fabric of your clothes resting against your skin. Just really kind of tuning into the present moment and kind of trying to come out of the head and more into the body. Just becoming more in tune and more aware of the different sensations in our body. You can already connect with that feeling of gratitude just for appreciating your body, being able to move your body and it carrying us around each day. And then you can just gradually help yourself back up as you inhale, back into that all fours. And then if you tuck your toes, we're going to prepare for the first downward dog. So you can just tuck those toes, put the fingertips nice and wide, and then press the hips all the way up and back. And you can be super generous with the bend of the knees here, especially for the first down dog of the day or the week or the month. You can be really generous, just bending those knees, walking out the dog. Just bending one knee then the other. Really starting to wake up through the hamstrings, through the back. And then you can just take more of a static downward dog, and then take a big breath in through your nose, and then exhale out the mouth. Really nice. And then we're just going to step the feet to meet the hands at the top of the mat. Inhale, coming into a halfway lift. The hands can come to the shins, and then exhale, forward fold. Again, you can be generous with the bend of the knees. It's much more preferable to have the torso in touch with the thighs than it is to have straight legs. So don't force yourself to have those straight legs. It'll naturally come in time, and all our bodies are different. Don't feel like you need to have that. So you can just enjoy that forward fold. You might want to kind of clasp opposite elbows, or walking the hands over to the left and over to the right, kind of connecting to that side body again. And then we're going to bring the hands to the shins and just gradually roll up nice and slow, almost one vertebra at a time. And then you can inhale, bring the arms up, a few birds joining us, and then just bring the right hand down and the left hand over, those laterals again like we did in the beginning. And then inhale, back to center, left hand comes down, right hand coming over. Just once more like that on each side, really nice. And then once you come back to center, just pop the fingertips on the shoulders again, and we're just going to take that same nice spiral motion. Elbows coming together as you inhale, and then exhale, letting them drop back behind you. Just doing 3 repetitions like that, really nice. And then you can just release the arms, bring them up above you again, and then exhale, coming into that forward fold. And then you can step back into your plank pose, and then just lowering the knees. If you feel comfortable to go straight into chaturanga, you can, like I say, make it work for you. I'm going to bring the knees down and the chest and the chin. And a couple of options if you want to take the regular cobra. I quite like to take the hands nice and wide and then peel up as I inhale, keeping the pubic bone on the mat, lowering, just taking 3 repetitions like that. Really rolling up through the spine, super nice. And wherever you are, we're going to meet in downward facing dog, so you can just push yourself up, tuck those toes, and then press up and back. Just pedaling out the legs a couple times. And then as you inhale, we're going to lift up the left leg nice and high. Exhale, stepping it between the hands and just lowering that right knee. And as you inhale, we're going to bring both the arms all the way up. And then exhale, big cactus of the arms. And then you can let the hands kiss the mat, coming forwards, inhale. Exhale, nice big cactus. Big release through the shoulders. See if you can get a little bit lower into that lunge. Just taking 3 repetitions of those cactus arms. Then frame the foot with the hands and then straighten your left leg for a half split. Just starting to get into the hamstrings now as well. You can be quite generous again here. Don't feel like you need to go straight into the depths of the hamstrings. You can just gently move a bit in there. And then rebending into that leg. You can lift up the right knee, step back into your plank, and then take your vinyasa. You can take cobra, or if you want to now move into your upward facing dog, and then moving into downward facing dog. You can always make it as core intensive or passive as you like. Then we're going to inhale, just lift up the right leg now. Exhale, stepping it between the hands, lowering that left knee, and then inhale, bring the arms up. Exhale, big cactus arms. And then nice big circle with the arms. Exhale, cactus. Just 3 repetitions on that side. Lovely. And then just framing that foot, straightening the leg for that half split. It might feel super different on this side also. It's absolutely fine. Totally normal that both sides are going to be different. And then you can just rebend into that leg, lift up the left knee and step back into your plank, and then move through your vinyasa. And we're going to meet in downward facing dog. Amazing. And then you can just pedal out the legs again. I quite like to take a moment in down dog at this point. Now we've started to warm up the body a little bit, and you can, even if you feel up for it, you can experiment with bringing the left hand towards the right ankle, kind of stretching back. Even if it doesn't reach, you can kind of just do the motion of pressing there, and then taking the right to the left, And then sometimes I kind of pivot onto the short edge of the mat with the feet and then kind of pulse back a little bit into that side body. Can be really nice just to get a little bit more space in there. And then we're going to inhale, lifting up that left leg, and just bend the knee and open the hips slightly. Start to play around with the groin area and the hips. And then we're going to step the foot between the hands. This time, if you can keep the back knee lifted, we're going to come into Warrior One. You can also keep the knee down if that's preferable for you at the moment. And then just taking a breath there, finding your posture, really pushing that right heel down. And we're going to twist to the left. So the left hand will come back, the right hand will come forwards. And then inhale back to center. Exhale, right hand forwards, left hand back. See if you can get a little bit lower into that lunge as well. Third time, twisting. And then now we're going to use the momentum as we twist back. Pivot the feet to the short edge of the mat, and you can kind of land in that wide-legged fold. And as always, you've got a few options here. If you want to just kind of keep the hands as they are, you might want to reach for the ankles. You can also take the hands into an interlace overhead. And if you need to bend your knees a bit here, you can go for it, of course. And you can kind of let the weight of the hands pull you a little bit further in there if you're going for the interlace. Just notice if you lost connection with the breath as well, or you started to clench through the face or the jaw. Maybe your forehead's a bit tight, you can just release that. And then just finding the mat again, wherever your hands were, and you can start to walk the hands to frame that left foot. And then step back into your plank, take your vinyasa into downward dog. Super nice. Just coming back to that downward dog, pedaling out the legs a couple times before we move into that on the right. So we're going to inhale, lift up the right leg. Exhale, stepping it between the hands. Keep that back left knee lifted if you can into that Warrior One. And this time it's going to be the right hand coming back, left hand forwards for that twist. Coming a bit lower into your lunge. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, twist. One more time. And then after the third one, remember we use the momentum of the twist to kind of let us land in that wide-legged fold. Bringing those arms down, bending the knees if you need to. And you can just kind of play around with those variations of the hands. You might want to just stay static, or you can also plant the right hand and lift up the left for a twist. And then you can plant the left hand, lift up the right for a twist. Really nice. Then we're just going to frame that front foot again. Step back into your plank and take your vinyasa or skip it. And we're going to meet in downward facing dog. Really nice. And again, just taking a moment in the down dog to kind of reconnect with the body and the breath. Just notice how you feel. Are you clenching anywhere? Is your jaw a bit tight? You can just release that. Maybe taking in one big breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. Really nice. And then we're going to lift up the left leg as we inhale. You can bend the knee and open the hips slightly. If you do have the wild thing in your practice, if you feel comfortable to move into that, you can go for it. Just letting the left foot find the floor and lifting up through the pelvis, activating your glutes. Big breath in there. And then just finding the mat with the hand coming into that three-legged dog. And then we're going to step the left foot outside of the left hand, and you can lower that right knee this time, so we're coming into a bit of a lizard posture. Really nice. And then there's a couple of options here. You can kind of take some really nice twists. If you plant the right hand and lift up the left, bring the arm all the way back, and then kind of bring the forearm to the floor. This is super nice, one of my favorites. Big kind of circular, semicircular motions with the hands. Or the other option is a little bit, if you have a little bit more space available, you can kind of come onto the side of your foot. If you, with the front and the back, it's got a horizon lunge. You can kind of pivot like this onto the, you can experiment, see how it feels. It is quite intense, see what feels nicest for you. You might just want to hang out in the lizard, a bit more static. There's always options to kind of adapt it and make it work for you. If you're feeling want a bit more challenge or not really, you can always adapt. And then there is another added option here. If you wanted to add a bit more core, we can try to lift up that right knee, and then we're going to bring this left foot all the way back behind us off to the right. So we're going to step it all the way back into the side plank and lifting up that left hand. Take a nice breath in there, and then just refinding the mat, and then you can step back into that lizard. And then we're going to now step the right foot all the way outside the right hand to join the left, and then just sitting into our squat. You can press the elbows and the knees into one another, really nice. And see if you can just lift yourself up slightly, bring the hands forward, super strong, into a bit of a chair pose. You can come all the way up to standing, reaching the arms up. And then we're going to come back into that squat position, coming nice and low. And then we're going to take a little twist from here, so you can kind of put the right hand out towards the right like this, and then lift up the left hand. See how that feels. Again, adapt it to make it work for you. And then just swapping the hands, the left hand comes outside and the right hand can lift. Really nice. And then from there you can just start to lift yourself back up, coming into that halfway lift, and then coming into your forward fold, just letting the head nice and heavy, just maybe clasping opposite elbows, juggling a couple times. And then you can step back, left leg, step your right into the plank, and then take your vinyasa. Back to downward dog, and then from here just going to pop the knees again nice and wide, and then sit back into your child's pose. There's always a couple of options as well. Even with the child's pose, you can kind of take the knees more narrow, central, and place the arms either side of you like this, and you can kind of rest the shoulders a little bit more. See if that feels nicer for you at this point. Otherwise, if you're taking the wide knees posture, you can rest your forehead on the floor. Another option, if you want it to be a little bit more active, you can kind of walk the hands slightly further forwards, and then place the hands into prayer and pop them on the back of your head. And if you just walk the elbows forward, you get a nice stretch through the tricep. Just taking a breath there. And just taking a few nice slow breaths wherever you are in the variation of a child's pose. Just again noticing the different sensations in your body. Just finding that bit of gratitude for creating some space in your day to move, to feel, and notice how you're doing in your body and in your mind. And just take one more breath there as you are. And then we're going to slowly lift up back into that all fours position, and then tuck your toes, step back into the downward dog, just pedaling out those legs, just maybe noticing there's hopefully a bit more space in those hamstrings, and see if you can kind of wrap the elbow creases around to the front in our downward dog. We want to kind of get this elbow creases towards the front sort of positioning, and then we can really kind of lock the hands into the mat and start to push the heels a little bit towards the mat, not really worrying about how far they come, just having that kind of conscious effort to come a little bit further in there. And then we're going to inhale, lift up the left leg, exhale, stepping it forward in between the hands, and this time we're going to plant the right hand and then lift up the left for a nice twist. Really nice. And then just bringing the hand back to the floor, and you're going to land your back leg to the short edge of the mat, and then you can lift up on the left, lift up the right hand now, and then you're going to roll up into your warrior two. Really nice. Just taking a little moment to kind of find your positioning, super strong in both your legs. A rough guide is kind of the heel of the front foot will be pointing to the middle of your back foot. Just taking a minute there. And we're going to flip the palm, reverse your warrior, keeping the legs bent, and then coming forwards into extended side angle. The left elbow come to your left knee and the right arm can come up past your ear, and then inhale, reverse. One more time, extended side angle. Lovely. And then just coming back to a regular warrior two. You're just going to pivot your feet back into that wide-legged stance, folding forwards. And you might have a variation that you liked from earlier. You might just want to be a bit more static. Just taking one breath there. Nice big inhale through the nose and exhale out the mouth. And then I'm just going to walk the hands over to the left and bend into that left knee. You can see if you can point the toes on the right side. Again, it doesn't matter if you're more like this. You don't have to come all the way down. You're just kind of exploring that sensation. And then we're going to stay nice and low with the hands and kind of crawl, just flowing from one side to the other in Skandasana. Kind of very animalistic like movement, just sort of keeping nice and low, flowing from one side to the other. It's another one of my favourites. Just taking a couple on each side like so. Lovely. And then we're going to eventually frame that front left foot, step back into your plank, and then take your vinyasa back to downward dog. Really nice. And then we're just going to continue that flow on the right side. You can lift up your right leg, just bending that knee, opening the hip slightly. And if you wanted to take that wild thing as well on this side, you can always lift into that. Make sure you're really activating your glutes. And then just finding the mat again. And then you're going to step that right foot forwards. Keeping nice and low with the hands. We're going to plant the left hand and lift up the right. Really nice. And then you're just going to pivot that back foot so it's on the short edge of the mat. Plant your right hand and lift up the left. And then from there you're going to roll up into that warrior two. Just taking a minute to find your posture. Just kind of looking over that front middle finger. Nice and strong in both your legs. You can flip your palm. Inhale, reverse. And then exhale, extended side angle. Really nice. Inhale, reverse. And exhale, extended. And then you're just going to come back up into that warrior two. Just pivoting your front foot so you're in that wide-legged stance again. And you might want to take a twist this time. Really nice. And I'm just going to walk those hands over to the left and then coming into the Skandasana again, super low. Really just enjoying that nice fluid feeling through the hips. Really nice. And you can just eventually frame that front foot. Take your vinyasa or skip it. We're going to just meet in downward facing dog. Just going to get a little drink of water. Then once you're in your downward dog, you can just lower the knees to the floor. I'm going to come into a bit of a kneeling position like this. Just going to have a quick drink. So in the kneeling position, you can just kind of be in somewhere in the middle of the mat. I'm going to take these really nice kind of spirally, I don't even have a name for them really, like a nice opening spirally kind of thing. So if you come a little bit onto your knees, place your hands out behind you. So it's going to look a little bit like this. We can give a quick demonstration first. So for example, we can start with the left hand behind you, and this right hand is going to come all the way across your body, and you're going to lift up your hips. It's going to come all the way around, lower the hips. So it's like a big circular motion across your body. So as the hand comes across to the left, lift up your hips, use your glutes. Nice big spiral, lower the hips. As you exhale, then inhale. Nice big circle. Just taking 3 repetitions like that, and then you can change the sides, placing the right hand behind you. The left hand will come across, lift up the hips. And lowering. Really nice. One more time on this side. Amazing. And then from there you can just go to try that narrow version of the child's pose whilst we have our knees in the position. If you just let your arms come either side, you can rest your forehead on the mat for a second. Just taking a breath there. And we start to cool down the body a little bit now. And as you inhale, just going to lift up. And then you can just release the legs from underneath you, bringing them more in front so you're sitting on the mat again. Just bring the heels a little bit in towards your bum. You can lower your back onto the floor. Just coming to rest on the mat for a breath or two. And then you can just release the hands either side of you. We're going to take bridge pose. So as you inhale, you're going to lift up the hips. Lift the pelvis, use your glutes again, and then exhale, lower. Inhale, lift the glutes. Exhale, lower. One more time like this. And then see if you can kind of roll the shoulder blades a little bit more underneath. You might be able to interlace the hands and just kind of taking more of a supported version. Just letting the hips lift with a bit more ease. Really nice. Just taking one more breath there. And then you can start to release out of that, just lowering the back onto the floor. And then you can just lower yourself onto your back. Bring the knees into the chest. And then just taking a few spirals of the knees, just nice circular motions. And then we're going to extend the right leg forwards. Just going to shuffle the hips slightly to the left, just so you can let this left knee fall across your body. Coming into a twist. Your left hand could come out to 90 degrees. And if it feels comfortable and safe for your neck, you can kind of look in the opposite direction and just rest your right hand on top of the left thigh or knee. And just enjoying that nice juicy sensation of kind of wringing out a cloth across your body. You're starting to cool down the practice now. Just taking 2 more breaths there as you are. Really nice. Then we're just going to help ourselves back to center. Shuffling the hips and just hugging both the knees back into the chest. And then we can extend that left leg out straight, and then just remembering that little shuffle of the hips just enables us a bit more space for that right leg to fall across the body. And then you can look the opposite direction if that feels okay. This side again might feel really different, that's absolutely fine. Just enjoying a couple of nice deep slower breaths there as we start to wind down. Really nice. And then when you feel ready, we can just help yourself out of that, coming back to center, hug the knees into the chest, and then just gonna take a happy baby before we close. So you can grab hold of the feet from the outside of the feet from the inside. Just make sure you keep your lower back on the floor, then you can lift up the heels, pressing into one then the other. Maybe rocking a little bit side to side. Just enjoying the playful, kind of freeing nature of this posture. And if there's any other movement you'd like to take before you move into Shavasana, you can of course go for that now. Otherwise, just releasing onto your back, coming into your final resting pose. Just letting the hands fall wherever they naturally want to. Same for the legs, without trying to force them into any position. You might want to pop the left hand on the belly and the right right hand on the chest. And again, you can just connect with that feeling of gratitude for showing up and creating a little bit of time in our very busy days, just to move your body, get a little taste of how it feels to connect with the breath. And just appreciating having this royal vehicle of a body that carries us every day. It easily goes unnoticed how wonderful it is to have a body and all your senses. Just taking a little bit of time to notice that. And just really letting the benefits of your practice marinate. You can really surrender now. There's nothing else to do, nowhere to be. And if you have time, I would highly recommend to stay in your shavasana and enjoy that feeling of relaxation and kind of marinating of your practice. Otherwise, you can start to wiggle the fingers and the toes, just bringing a little bit of life back to the body. And maybe taking a big stretch overhead, almost like you're just waking up in the morning. Stretching the feet and the hands, and then you can just roll over to your favourite side, taking a little moment in the fetal position, just for a breath or two. Super healing, restorative place. And then you can eventually just start to help yourself back up to a seat. Thank you so much for sharing your practice with me. I hope you enjoyed it, and have a lovely day. Thank you so much. Namaste.